Now then you come to the main event, and earlier in the night, for those who saw it, those who did, earlier in the night after the first match, The Miz came out and he returned and he put himself into that Money in the Bank match to make it a 5-man Money in the Bank match instead of 4. And actually made the match a little better because The Miz is actually one of those guys who can actually, is believable, can climb a ladder, he's not like a high flyer like a Sin Cara or anything.
Welcome back, Miz.
He has agility enough to carry on, to put on a good match like a ladder match. And Chris Jericho, in my opinion, really needed someone to help him do that, because Kane, for a big man, is agile, but not trying to pay $55 if he can't go up and down a ladder. And the Big Show, you probably wouldn't pay 55 cents to see him walk down the street. But and then John Cena, well, you guys don't know how I feel about John Cena because this is my first time doing this, but
they figured it out.
Don't really like John Cena that much. Before I get a bunch of haters, I will say that I admire John Cena outside of the ring, the Make-A-Wish thing and everything for the children. That is good, and I think that one of the reasons why his main followers are children is because he does things like that for kids, and it gets the adults of those children to back him and like him as well. And that's where the adults say, well, you know something, little Timmy, I'm going to go on WWE.com, shop some, and I'm going to buy you a $30 t-shirt and get you the little $8 wristbands and the $6 hat and all that. And that's how John Cena becomes the #1 merchandising superstar, because the little kids say, Mommy, Daddy, I want this, I want that, and there are parents out there that give their kids what they want when they can give it to them. But there's nothing wrong with that. John Cena's a good guy outside of the business. You know, some people might have different opinions. His wife might not think he's so good right now, but he is a good person to the children and all of that kind of stuff, so he gets those kind of fans. The children, the little girls in the audience, they go wild when John Cena comes out there. But the guys who've been watching it for a long time, the real men, I guess you could say, like me, don't really care for John Cena because I guess you could use the word hokey, I guess you could say. He's just a little bit too, you know, good Samaritan type to be liked or
Coming
whatever.
from the Hulk Hogan thing. The former Hulkamaniac.
But different era, different time, different man. Hulk Hogan, John Cena, nothing alike. But anyway, for those of you who don't know why I said that, didn't hear my wife in the background making comments, kind of making fun of me because I don't like John Cena, but I was a Hulk Hogan fan. I was a Hulkamaniac. I did have the workout equipment and everything, thank you. And, but hey, to me, like I said, different time, different era, different man. I won't go into the whole Hulk Hogan thing because this is about Money in the Bank, but in my other episodes, I guess you could say, other posts, I'll go in more to that because I think Hulk Hogan gets a bad rap from some people. But let's go back to Money in the Bank. Let's go back to John Cena. In the ring, to me, not that great of a wrestler, and I'm not saying that guys like Hogan were, but not that great to me performance-wise, but he gets the backing of the children and the women, and that's, like I said, that's a big thing to help him out. But John Cena comes into this, and to me, this Money in the Bank match is just like the one that starts off the night, being predictable. And I think this one's even more predictable than the Dolph Ziggler victory, because for 2 or 3 weeks they've been talking about the Money in the Bank, and what have they been mainly saying going into this Money in the Bank match? Oh, well, John Cena never competed in the Money in the Bank. This is John Cena's first Money in the Bank match. John Cena never did anything like this. So, of course, going into that, your mindset is, well, since they're hyping that John Cena is in his first Money in the Bank match, then naturally, John Cena's going to win the Money in the Bank match. And that's exactly what happened. John Cena comes away with a victory, and what I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was planned that he wins it, but I don't know that it was planned to end the way it did, because he's tugging on the briefcase and the handle breaks, and it comes out right in his hands, and he's looking at it like, wow, gee, look what I just got, type thing, while he's bashing the Big Show over the head with the briefcase, who, by the way, John Cena, superhuman strength that man has. Big Show, with one punch, one knockout blow, knocked Jericho off the ladder, knocked The Miz off the ladder. He'd been taking it to Kane the whole night during the match. John Cena grabs that briefcase, hits him a few times with it, swinging it off the hook, and the mighty Big Show falls because of John Cena's strength. Yeah. And for those of you who can't tell what sarcasm is, there you have it. But John Cena wins the Money in the Bank match, and now he will be cashing it in. My guess would be next week on the 1000th episode of Raw. Maybe that won't be when, but I would think that he probably will, since he's a good guy, he's a babyface. He's going to do the honorable thing and wrestle a fresh CM Punk, and do that probably next week on the Raw that they're saying that Vince McMahon is going to try to make like a pay-per-view. But John Cena wins it, pay-per-view ends, and now I'm going to say with the star system, the 1 star being the worst, 5 star being the best, just to let you know, let you all know before I do this, when I rate pay-per-view shows or whatever, I rate them based on me being a wrestling fan for 26 years, what I've seen in the past, what I see now, and of course, obviously, what I saw in the past was better than the stuff they're putting on now. But being a fan for 26 years, kind of get hooked, and, you know, you have to watch. But, by the rating system, I would have to say I'd give it a 3 star, and that would be because of the Dolph Ziggler match at the beginning, the Money in the Bank, Sheamus putting on a pretty solid match with Del Rio, and then the Daniel Bryan Punk match. Those 3 right there would get a star each and make it a 3-star pay-per-view. Now, before I conclude here on my first host, I am going to say this, is that John Cena, once again, for the 3rd or 4th month, is not the WWE Champion, yet his match on the pay-per-view is the final match, is the main event. And I don't think that's a good thing. I don't get it, and I don't think it's a good thing. I understand, like I said earlier, he's the top draw, he's a top merchandise seller, and all of that kind of stuff. But CM Punk right now is a top draw, a top merchandise seller in his own right, and I believe that making the WWE Champion go on middle of the card in pay-per-views instead of last could hurt the reputation of the WWE Championship. And it makes people, because I've heard people say, and I've seen them writing in blogs and forums and things, that CM Punk's a weak champion, CM Punk's not a good champion because he can't even main event. Well, CM Punk is a main eventer, CM Punk's a good main eventer, but in order to main event, you have to get the opportunity. I mean, CM Punk's been in WWE Championship matches defending the title since he won it every single pay-per-view, and they've given John Cena the main event. And I mean, John Cena has been in the main event like last month against the Big Show in a steel cage match. It's like, how many times have we seen Cena wrestle Big Show? A cage doesn't make it any better. John Cena, for Christ's sake, was in the main event of, I don't even remember, I think it was Over the Limit against John Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis, a former mid-carder wrestler turned suit Vince McMahon yes man, was in the main event of a pay-per-view against John Cena, and CM Punk, the WWE champion, is not. But if you follow CM Punk on Twitter, he was asked about it, and he said he doesn't care when he goes on. He'll go on first, last, or in the middle, because he is going to outperform anyone and everyone, because he is the best in the world. And I agree with Mr. Punk. I think he did go on middle, like he has been the past 2, 3, 4 months, and he did outperform everybody. He and Daniel Bryan outperformed John Cena and everybody else that they had to outperform. But yeah, Cena's just been getting the main event a lot, and from what I read, that next pay-per-view, SummerSlam in August, the main event is not going to go to Cena, but it's not going to go to Punk either. From what they're talking right now, the main event of that pay-per-view is going to be Brock Lesnar and Triple H. So once again, it will be a non-WWE Championship match or World Heavyweight Championship match as the main event at a pay-per-view. And like I said, old school wrestling fan, and back in my day, the main event was always for the world title, the NWA title, world class, AWA, WWF. It didn't matter. The main event was the big one, especially at pay-per-views. It was for what they call the Richard Fries in the industry, and that was that Federation Company's championship, heavyweight championship. And I feel like that probably should be something they go back to. But like I said, this is my first post. Money in the Bank was an average pay-per-view, giving it 3 stars out of 5, and who knows, maybe I'll be back later tonight, maybe tomorrow, to give you my thoughts on tonight's Monday Night Raw episode number 999. And the thing I look most forward to in that one is to see which legend, which old timer is going to come on back out and for tonight. But for now, my name is Eric, and I will see you guys later.